This is going to be a big boy game. So turn it in to a 4-round fight. And here in a minute, it's fixing to go ding, ding.
Are you frustrated with the inconsistency? Tired of making those big mistakes in crucial moments of the game? The interceptions, the incompletions, not understanding the coverage? Where there is a solution for you. It's the quarterback equalizer. Let's take a look. Those days of being confused with how to recognize coverages are over. The quarterback equalizer is a game where you learn coverages and train your eyes to become masters at identifying coverages from cover 1 to 0, to 2-man, to cover 3. The list goes on and on. Now you can sit with your coach in meeting rooms and understand and identify what he needs you to do and execute at championship speed by the time you hit the field. You can now better understand on pre-snap and sift through the rest by the time you get to the top of your drop on post-snap. New in 2016, the quarterback equalizer is moving to an interactive game model with a practice mode, a season mode, as well as you competing against the best quarterbacks that use the game. Let us help you take your game to the next level.
Gentlemen, let's talk about cover 0, the quarterback equalizer. All right, you look at this diagram, you see no safety in the middle of the field. Your first tail, it's no safety. All right, your second tail, the eyes of each of these cover guys, they're on the receiver. They got their eyes on them and they're pressed up. All right, the depth, they're not very deep. None of these guys are deep. All right. When you see cover 0, that means they're going to blitz. So in our diagram right here, we can see that the Will linebacker is blitzing, the Mike linebacker is blitzing, the Sam linebacker is blitzing. So they're going to bring pressure. They're going to bring 7, maybe 6, maybe 8 people. One of these safeties might blitz. That leaves one receiver open. So this is a coverage where you got to beat someone with one of your receivers. You got to beat them with the ball, guys. Cover 0, you got to beat them with the ball. All right? Any questions? Let's go get them. Guys, let's talk about cover 0. Any questions? Yes,
Coach,
sir.
what are the weaknesses of cover 0?
Perfect, man. Perfect question. Here's the biggest weakness. Attack your best matchup. All right? If their best corner is out here covering X and we're running 4 verticals, we want to make sure that we're going against their worst corner. So if their best corner is over here, we're going to Z. If their strong safety doesn't cover our Y very well, we're going to attack Y. What about our free safety? Maybe one of our best receivers is lined up on their weaker guy, which is this free safety right here. Let's go after him. All right, cover 0. It's all about matchups. And the best ball to throw against cover 0 is the deep ball. Or it's the check down to the back. Because most of the time, the guy that's covering the back is a linebacker. And you got a mismatch because you know your running back is better than their linebacker. So it's your best matchup against cover 0, and you have to beat them with the ball. Always remember that because they're blitzing in cover 0. So you got to beat them with the ball, check it down to the running back. Let's go get him. Guys, welcome to cover 1. Let's talk about cover 1. Let's go over our same thing we always talk about, our weld. Our width, eyes, leverage, and depth. Let's look at the corners. Let's start with their depth. All right, they're down low. They're inside of 5 yards. They're inside leverage or head up on the receiver. All right, let's look at the strong safety. Head up over top the number 2 receiver. Let's look at the nickel Will or the Will linebacker. All right. He's inside leverage to maybe head up on the slot receiver. And their eyes are on the guy that they're covering. All right, what makes this cover 1? There's one person in the middle of the field, and it's the safety. And he's usually 12 yards or deeper. 12 yards or deeper. His job, he's man free. Some of your coaches may have used the word man free. So it's man, everybody's in man coverage. Man coverage. Man coverage. He's going to help. He's free to help any of these guys that are in coverage. That's why he's man free. He's free. So if your weakest corner is over here covering Z and he's going deep, he will drop over and help double team. If your best corner is over here, he's not even going to worry about helping that. So if you got a team that they run 4 vertical routes, he's going to be free to help anybody he knows that's in distress. That's why it's called cover 1, free safety, man free. All right? And then we talked about all these things, the leverage, inside leverage to head up, the depth, they're down low. And the safety is deep, so if he does need to help, he's deep enough to get anywhere he needs to get on the field. Let's go out there and get him, guys. Gentlemen, let's talk about cover 1. Any questions?
Coach, what are the weaknesses of cover 1?
Man, here's the deal with cover 1. Everybody's playing man, and the safety is free to help. So the key for us is to stay away from the safety. Whatever matchup you have, you might want to throw double slants, a slant and a flat route. All right? You got one-on-one. So it's either quick game to your best receiver, all right, or it's the deep ball. If you're going to throw the deep ball and X is running the go, zebra's running the go, Y is running the go, and Z is running the go, wherever the free safety jumps, throw it opposite. Stay away from the safety because there's your automatic double team. So it's your best matchup, or it's checking down to the back, staying away from the free safety. Let's go get them, guys. Gentlemen, let's talk about off-man coverage. Off-man coverage, your first tell, is everyone is lined up off the ball, but their eyes are directly on the receivers, not on you. That should tell you, based on our weld, their eyes tell you it's man. You got it? That's the key right there. But they're not deep, so that also lets you know it's not zone. When the safeties are inside of 10 yards, there's your other tail. All right? They're off the ball, but they're inside of 10. Now, let's look at this example right here. The corner's off 6. This corner's off 6. Sometimes you see off man, they might line up at 3 or 4 yards because they're corners. So they're playing man. You know it already, and they're either head up, okay? They're head up or inside of the receiver. The safeties are off because they want to have enough cushion so they can cover him deep and not get beat. So he's 8 yards off the ball. Now, the linebackers, they're close to the ball. They have no pass responsibility. So they're either blitzing or they're just going to drop a little bit to see if this guy comes inside. If he comes inside, this nickel will cover him. If not, he's just going to blitz. On this side, this Sam backer has the halfback. The strong safety has the Y. This corner has the Z. Does everybody get it so far? All right, so our depth, our eyes tell us it's man. Our depth tells us it's also man. All right, and then the width. Look how wide these safeties are. The safeties are just going wherever these guys line up. So if this receiver, if he lines up next to the daggone tackle, this safety is going to move, guys. He is going to move right here. That lets you know it's off man. He has this one, all right. Safety has this, and the Sam has the running back. If the running back comes out, he's going to cover him. If the running back stays in, he's going to blitz. Everybody got it so far? Any questions, gentlemen? Yes, sir.
Coach, what are the weaknesses of off-man coverage?
Off-man coverage is just like cover zero. We're picking our best matchup. Our best matchup, and that's the receiver that we're going to go after. So it could be a deep sideline route, a comeback. It can be the go ball because he has no help from the safeties. It's really cover zero, but it's soft cover zero. So we're going with our best matchup, or we're checking it down to the running back. Any questions? Anything else? Let's go get them, guys. Guys, welcome to cover 6. Let's talk about some of our indicators of cover 6. Here's what cover 6 is. Cover 6 is one half of the field playing cover 2. All right? One half of the field playing cover 4. That's all cover 6 is. So let's talk about this. Let's break it all down. Let's go with our width, eyes, leverage, and depth, our weld. All right? Let's talk about the cover 2 side, guys. We can always tell what cover 6 looks like. You'll see 2 high safeties, but one safety is higher than the other. And it's usually the cover 6 or the cover 2 safety that's playing a little bit deeper. So his depth, he's deeper, and his width is wider because he wants to get to that half of the field fast. All right? Now, let's just pretend on this diagram that the quarterback is on the left hash. All right? The cover 2 side usually is to the field. Sometimes it's not. It just depends on the team. So that's why you have to trust your width, eyes, leverage, and your depth. Where's the safety? He's deep, coach, on this side. And he's wider, so he's playing half on this field. Let's look at the corner. The corner's eyes. The corner's eyes are on you. So he's playing a little small zone, but he's playing outside leverage. He has outside leverage on the outside receiver. You got it? So he's playing this flat area. And then the sandbacker is playing the curl area. Well, let's look to the other side. The safety coach. He's just outside the tackle box and he's inside the number 2 receiver. And he's 10 yards. All right? Just remember, one safety might be higher than the other, but you'll see 2 safeties in cover 6. He's lower. He's covering a quarter of the field. All right? So this side is half the field's being covered. This guy's covering a quarter. And this guy's covering a corner. So the corner is off, soft, inside leverage on the outside receiver. The nickel wheel in the all-pro level or the wheel linebacker in the rookie or collegiate level is covering the flats. This is cover 6, gentlemen. It's still a zone coverage because everybody's eyes are on the quarterback. Any questions? Let's go out there and get them. Gentlemen, do you have any questions about cover 6?
Coach, what are the weaknesses of cover 6?
Excellent question. So let's look at this for a second. On the half side, here's the weakness. The half side, it's the same thing as it is in cover 2. That deep corner, all right, and this little hook area, all right, to the middle. On the quarter side, it's the flat area, all right, and the curl area, the hook curl. Those are the weaknesses. So you got to know which side is what. Is this the quarter side? Yes. Flats to hooks. Is this the half side? Yes. This is the cover 2 side of the field. So it's the deep corner to the curl, to the hook, to the seam. All right? Let's go get them. Guys, welcome to cover 20. This is a combo coverage. Cover 6 was a combo coverage. Cover 20 is a combo coverage. Cover 40 is a combo coverage. All right? Cover 30 is a combo coverage. Combination meaning one half of the field is doing one thing, one half of the field is doing the other. So here's how you can tell. Let's go with our weld. The width. Let's look at the width of this safety. He's wide. And he's deep. All right? And his eyes are on the quarterback. There's where your zone coverage is. All right? So this is the 2 in the cover 20. But let's look at this side. This free safety, he's going to cover that slot receiver. That means this guy's blitzing. When this safety is down, inside of 10 yards, somebody's blitzing. All right? He's going to blitz. He's playing man. So let's look. His eyes are not even on the quarterback. All right? So his depth is down and his eyes are on that receiver. The free safety, his eyes are on that receiver. This is your 0 side of the coverage. Over here, gentlemen, the safety's covering half the field. And the depth of this safety is 12 or more, maybe 16. Let's look at the corner in a cover 2 defense. He's usually 5 yards or less, and he's outside leverage. So his leverage is outside the receiver. And his eyes are kind of on the receiver and you. He's going to get his hands on the receiver and then settle in the flats. This Sam linebacker is going to drop to the curve. So here's the cover 2. And here's the zero side. He's got man, he's got man. Gentlemen, this is cover 20. Everyone else is going to play a little zone. All right? And you might have a blitz, especially on this side with the safety down. Let's go out there and get them, gentlemen. Gentlemen, let's talk about cover 20. Any questions?
Coach, what are the weaknesses of cover 20?
Excellent question. Excellent question. So let's think about this for a minute. If we were just working on this side of the field, the cover 2 side, all right, the deep corner, okay, and in the middle of the field, because they're playing cover 0 on this side, all right? So let's talk about the cover 0 side of this. It's the best matchup. Normally, if a team's playing cover 20, the best corner is over here on X. If you feel like you can take a shot, then you take a shot with your best receiver, all right? Or you run him off and you get this guy up against their free safety. This is supposed to be a pretty good receiver for you. So cover 0 is vertical, it's post, all right? Or it's quick game. It's maybe double slant. Or it's a deep out. So it's anything combination over here where you can get man to man, which you already have. It's deep, corner, middle of the field to the cover 2 side. Let's go get them, guys. Gentlemen, welcome to cover 30. Zone defense on one side, man on the other. So let's get all the confusion out the way. This is a defense you won't see a whole lot. All it is cover 3 with a man, with a corner playing man on the backside. So it's going to look like cover 3 everywhere else. But it's just man pressed up on one side. So you have a corner playing a third, safety playing a third, sandbacker playing the flats, Mike playing a hook to curl. You might have a blitz. This nickel will, he might even play the flats. He might not. He's going to just toy with it. He's going to play man over top of this guy, but he's going to be deep enough. But he's not going to be deep like that safety. And then you're going to get this corner pressed on him. He's got him man anywhere he goes. So you can tell your coach, oh, coach, that's cover 30. It's cover 3 with one person playing man. Good teams usually take their best corner, and he'll line up on the best receiver, and he'll play man. That's cover 30. Gentlemen, let's talk about cover 30. Any questions so far?
Coach, what are the weaknesses of cover 30?
Perfect. Now, we know cover 30 is really just cover 3. All right? So let's just go with our weaknesses of cover 3 first. So we got our flat area, great place to attack. All right? Our hook curl area, great place to attack. Anywhere behind the linebackers and in front of the safety, we can high-low them with 2 routes. The linebacker has to either drop and take the deeper route, or he takes the shorter route. All right, so we high-low them. And then on the backside, this is what we know it's a combination coverage. Because away from this zone side, there's a corner that's down. He's not 7 yards off the ball. So if he's down tight on this guy, we got a one-on-one matchup. All right, so we work our zone concepts and work these areas, or we throw a deep out or a deep comeback to the sideline. All right, we throw the post because we got the safety down. Nobody can get into that post. We just got to know where that safety is. All right, or we run some combination routes where he runs a flat route, he runs a slant, that we attack and get those guys crossed up. So we work a man concept over here, one-on-one, or we work these pockets in a zone. Those are the weaknesses of cover 30. Let's go get them. Gentlemen, welcome to cover 40. So let's talk about cover 40. All cover 40 is, it's a combination coverage. So it's zone on this side when we look at our example. So the strong safety is going to drop. He's going to cover a quarter of the field or a fourth. The corner is going to drop and cover a quarter of a field. The Sam is going to play the flats. Everything is the same. This is all zone on this side. This is man on the opposite side. That's the 0 part of cover 40. All right. The corner is going to play man also. The will linebacker most likely is going to blitz, or he'll cover anything that's coming across this middle if this man decides to run a route across the ball. So that's cover 40. Combination coverage 4, 0. Where are the attack points? The attack point. If you got a really good receiver on his backside to the 0 side, you want to attack the corner. So deep, comeback route, post, dig, and anything, a crossing route with the zebra or a route away, forcing this guy to have to run and you know, cover him. So any combination crossing route concepts over here, and on this side, you've got the flat area to work, and in the middle of the field. This is cover 40. Let's go get them. Gentlemen, let's talk about cover 40. Are there any questions?
Coach, what's the weaknesses of cover 40?
Man, excellent question. So let's just work the cover 4 side of this. All right? We're playing zone over here. You guys already know that. So we know the flat area is a great area to work. Okay? The hook curl area, great area to work. And then listen, any matchup on this cover 0 side. All right? You feel like you got the post? That's fine. You want to work the sideline with the comeback, one-on-one coverage? That's fine. All right? Slant game, where you get one-on-one on either one of these guys. That's good. So you got one-on-one matchups, so come up with a one-on-one concept here. Or take the back and get them into the flats over here. Match them up against a linebacker. Or flat area, hook curl area to the cover 4 side. Let's go get them, guys. Gentlemen, welcome to cover 2 man. All right, let's apply our rules first. Width, eyes, leverage, and depth. In cover 2 man, this is a zone and man defense. So it's a combination. It's a combination coverage. All right. The free safety, he's covering half of the field, and he's 12 yards or more. Most teams that play cover 2 man, these safeties usually start at 15, 16 yards. But we're going to just say 12. But we're going to pretend that these safeties are great. Okay? So, both are playing half of the field. That's the cover 2 part of cover 2 man. Now, let's look at the eyes and the leverage and the depth of the corners. All right, the corner, he's inside leverage. You can see right now he's inside leverage on the outside receiver. And he's 1 yard off the ball, maybe 2. He is playing man on the receiver. He's inside. His job is not to let this receiver come across his face. Wherever that receiver goes, he goes. All right? Same thing on this side. Wherever this Z goes, this corner goes. Man coverage. He won't let him inside. If he does get inside, he's chasing him. Let's look at the same linebacker. If there's a receiver here, he's inside leverage, all right, and he's trailing him wherever he goes. His rule is the same as the corner. And then nickel will, he needs to be inside leverage, playing man. Now the defender's eyes are on the receiver and not on you. That's your key. That lets you know this is man coverage. So it's cover 2, and it's man right here. And their job, these defenders, their job is to play man underneath. These guys play zone over top. All right? The Mike linebacker has the running back. The running back comes out the field. He has him wherever he goes. Now, quarterback, if you don't see anybody open and you drop back on a pass against cover 2 man, and your clock has expired, you've already gotten to 3 seconds in your internal clock, you take off and run. This is one of the best defenses to scramble against when there's no one open. All right? Guys, let's go out there and get them. All right, guys, do you have any questions about 2 man?
Coach, what are the weaknesses of cover 2 man?
Excellent question. So now, we know they're playing man underneath and they're playing cover 2 behind it. So here's the weakness to cover 2 man. They're crossing routes, guys. If they're playing man, the best way that you can beat cover 2 man is to get one of these guys that's covering picked off. All right? And then the other thing is, it's these deep comeback routes. So let's look at one right here. Away from the safety and away from the corner. So this requires you to be an accurate receiver. So the sidelines are an area of weakness, but you got to be an accurate passer. sidelines, away from the defender, crossing routes, picking off the defender. All right? And you can't say, oh, I'm just going to throw it deep, because remember, these guys are playing man, and you can't say the middle of the field, because each of these defenders are covering, they're taking away the inside. So you really have to have an extraordinary receiver that can get across face and then pick off the other defender. Let's go get him, guys. Gentlemen, welcome to cover 2. Let's talk about cover 2 real quick. Let's go to our well. So let's look at the width of the safeties. This is a huge tell for us. In some other too high safety looks that we've seen, the safeties are not as wide. But these guys are wider. They're almost head up, sometimes outside of the slot receivers. All right, that gives them time to be able to cover half of the field. So as you can see, in a cover 2 defense, the field is split into 2. Safeties covering one half, safeties covering the other half. And in the safeties, in the true cover 2, they're deeper. They could be 12, 16, 18 yards, sometimes 20 in the all-pro level. All right? But in the rookie and collegiate level, they're down a little lower, but they're getting to half of the field. Now, here's your other tell. Let's look at the corners. The corners are less than 5 yards, and they're outside leveraged. They're leveraged now on the outside receivers. They want to get their hands on the receiver, and then they're just going to drop maybe to 8 yards. They're going to settle. They're covering the flats now. All right? And then the nickel wheel or the wheel linebacker and the Sam linebacker are going to play hook areas. All right? And the Mike is just going to take a little drop. So now, with eyes, leverage, depth, it's a zone defense. Their eyes are going to be dropping. They're on you. All right? There's no man in this. All right, the 2 safeties are playing cover 2. Everybody's playing zone underneath, and they're just getting to their areas where they need to cover. Guys, any questions so far?
Coach, what are the weaknesses of cover 2?
Man, great question. So, one of the biggest weaknesses are these corner areas. Look at this area right here. These areas right here for corner routes. Okay? Then the deep middle of the field is another area of weakness. Okay, here are the areas to attack. All right, and then here's another area. It's a little intermediate area, kind of a curl area to hook area. All right, 15, maybe 12 yards behind the linebacker and in front of the safety. Team wants to run an in cut or a dig route or a curl. It's a good window there. The flats are bad areas. That's why you see nothing there. And the deep corners and the deep middle are the other areas to attack cover 2. Let's go out there and get them, guys. Guys, welcome to cover 2 Tampa. All right, very similar to cover 2. Let's go over our well. So we got 2 high safeties, 12 yards or more. All right, we got our corners. Look at their depth. They're down inside 5 yards. Okay, they're outside leverage, so they're trying to take away anything outside. They're playing the flats, and they're pushing these receivers inside so these safeties can each cover a half of the field. All right, the nickel wheel or the wheel linebacker and the Sam, they're covering the hook area. But here's the biggest difference between cover 2 and cover 2 Tampa. We know the field, they're covering halves, but now let's look at a tail with the middle linebacker. Sometimes on pre-snap, the middle linebacker is about 5, maybe 6 yards deep, where he normally may be about 4 yards deep. He may be just 2 or 3 yards deeper than these other linebackers. That's one tail right there. In Tampa, he's a little deeper. Why? Guys, welcome to cover 2 read. All right, I just want you to know right now, this coverage is similar to some other coverages that you may have learned in the past. So let's talk about the corners first. All right, it's a zone coverage. The corners are 6 yards or more off the ball. All right, but let's not be fooled. Here's the biggest difference that you may have seen in other coverages. All right, the corner is outside leverage. He's outside leverage. All right, he's outside leverage. but he's 7 yards off the ball. All right, the safety is 10 yards or more off the ball. Both sides, free safety and the strong safety. The corner on the backside, he's also 7 yards or more, 6 yards or more off the ball, outside leverage. Here's the key. The reason we call this cover 2 read is that the safeties read the number 2 receiver. If the number 2 receiver runs a short route, going out or going in, this guy now will read this receiver, the number 1 receiver. So he's going to read 2 to 1. If the 2 receiver runs a short route, he gets his eyes on number 1 to see if he's going deep. If he's going deep, he now plays it like it's cover 2. All right? That's the biggest tell. When you look at the snap of the ball, it looks like cover 4. He's inside leverage on number 2, and he might just drop backpedal. He's reading 2 to 1. What's his route? If he goes short, he reads number 2. So if number 2 runs deep, now he's playing half the field. Let's look at this safety on this side. He reads number 2. Number 2 runs deep. He backpedals and plays cover 4, so he covers a fourth of the field. All right, if this guy goes across his face and runs a post, he goes with him. So he doesn't even read number 1 anymore. He reads 2 to see what he's doing, then he reads 1. If 2 runs a short route, he gets his eyes now on the number 1 receiver. And if he goes deep, now he helps the corner and plays half the field. This is why this coverage is called cover 2 read. In the all-pro level of our game, cover 2 read is also called palms, because all pros call this palms coverage. All right, last point, guys. This should help with your tails. The linebackers play this coverage just like they would cover 4. So the Sam will play the flats. The nickel will, the will linebacker will play the flats. Okay? Everything is the same with the linebackers. It's all about the safeties in cover 2 read. All right, guys, let's get out there and get them. All right, guys. Do you have any questions about cover 2 read?
Coach, what are the weaknesses of cover 2 read?
Excellent question. So we already know that the safeties are the key in this. They're reading 2 to 1. If the number 2 receiver stays short, his eyes are on number 1 receiver. All right. Same here. He's reading 2 to 1. If this guy decides that if this guy runs deep, he's going to backpedal and play it like it's quarters. Okay. Now, here are the weaknesses to 2 read. And it's really up to you, quarterback. Here's the key. The weakness is this deep area, the deep corners. All right. And it's kind of not too deep, all right, because it can turn into cover 2. So it's the corner areas and the deep middle, all right, and then the flat area can still be an issue because the corner now is always playing deep, all right. So the key is in how you set your play calling up. That's the key to read, all right. Make this safety drop. All right, so the 2 corners and the deep middle are the areas to affect and to read. And then this area behind the Mike linebacker. All right, any questions? Let's go get them. Gentlemen, welcome to cover 2 Tampa. So, cover 2 Tampa and cover 2, very, very similar. One thing is different. So let's talk about the things that are the same first. All right, we got our width. Let's talk about our weld. Width, eyes, leverage, depth. Those things are important here. So the width of our safeties, that lets us know it's cover 2. You see how wide the safeties are? They're usually over top of number 2, slightly inside of the number 2 receiver. All right, and they're at least 12 yards deep. All right, they're covering half of the field, both of them. So there's a half right there. One half for the free safety, one half for the strong safety. They both got halves of the field. The corners, outside leverage, outside leverage. Now, we're focusing on leverage now. Part of our word to remember. Weld this into your brain, quarterbacks. The corners are outside leverage. They're 5 yards deep or less. Their job is to get their hands on these number 1 receivers, the guys that are furthest to the outside, and they want to reroute them. That means bump them push him inside so the safety can take care of everything deep. Our will and our Sam linebacker, they have the curl area on the field, all right? And you can see their drops right here. They're usually about 5 yards off the ball. Now, here's the tail that makes it Tampa 2. Here's what makes it Tampa. It's the depth of the mic. First thing you notice when you line up quarterback, he's usually a little deeper than the Will and the Sam. He's a little deeper off the ball, maybe 5 to 7 yards. And then what he's going to do, and we'll remove this half line for a second, the Tampa backer, sometimes teams put in a safety here. But in this example, we're just going to say this is a linebacker. He turns and he runs to get deep to the middle of the field. So what are the weaknesses? What are the weaknesses in cover 2 Tampa? The corners. Here are the areas to attack. Same as always. All right, and then there are small voids in this area off of the outside linebackers. But the flats, nothing there. The middle of the field, the Mike tries to take it away because he's a Tampa dropper. So that makes it cover 2 Tampa. The key, guys, is to remember your weld rules, your width, your eyes, your leverage, and your depth. One other thing to let you know, this is a zone coverage. A zone coverage is the eyes of the safeties and the corners. This guy's going to be looking at you. The corner's going to be looking at you on this side. So will the safeties. This lets you know it's a zone. It's not a man coverage. Cover 2 Tampa. Let's go get them, guys. Gentlemen, welcome to cover 3. This is a zone defense. All right, let's go over our structure. We call it the weld. Width, eyes, leverage, depth. This helps us understand what to look for in cover 3. All right, so let's look first at the corners. All right, the depth of the corners. They're deep, they're off and soft, 6 to 10 yards or more. All right, they're leverage, they're inside leverage to head up. When you're in pre-snap, when you look out there and you see the corner lined up inside leverage and off the ball, let you know it's a zone coverage. Their eyes are on you. All right, and then the width. Let's focus on the safety. It's one high safety. One high safety is 12 yards or more. All right, and right now there's not much width to him because he's not wide. All right, he's over the tackle box, so he's over these guards or this center. All right, he's going to cover a third of the field. The corners are going to each cover a third. That's why it's called cover 3. Let's look at our linebackers. In cover 3, one safety comes down. So the strong safety, he's going to cover the flats. The Sam is going to cover the hook, the curl. The Mike's going to cover the hook, the curl. The nickel will in the all-pro level, that's what we call him. He's an extra defensive back that comes in the game. All right? In the collegiate level or the rookie level, the nickel will is usually the will linebacker. He's going to cover the flats. And these 3 guys are going to be deep. That's why we call this cover 3. Let's go out there and get them, guys. Guys, you got any questions?
Coach, what's the weaknesses of cover 3?
Cover 3 weakness, the flats and the hook, the curl area. All right, so I'm going to circle those areas. Here are some of the weaknesses. This quick game, throwing the ball short, and then the curl area. So the flats to the hooks, weaknesses of cover 3. And then this little area behind the linebackers. All right, so it's kind of intermediate, 12 to 15 yard area. You hold the linebacker with a short route, you throw an intermediate pass, 12 to 15 yards behind him. Here's some of the weaknesses of cover 3. Great question. Guys, welcome to cover 3 strong or cover 3 weak. All right, so let's start with this. Let's go to our weld like we always do. Width, eyes, leverage, depth. The first thing let's look at is these corners. Inside leverage, their depth, they're 6 to 10 yards or more off the ball. They let you know they're in the zone coverage and their eyes are on you. They're backpedaling. All right, they want to keep everything in front of them. All right, so that's the first thing to focus on. Now let's focus on these safeties. We see 2 safeties now, 2 high safeties. But here's the difference. Let's look at their width. One of them is going to be closer to the tackle box. And for this first example, we're going to talk about cover 3 strong. So, safety is moving. He's cheating before the snap of the ball. All right, he's most likely on the hash. In the all-pro level, you won't see this. The hashes are shorter. So they'll both be outside the hashes. But here's the key to 3 strong and 3 weak. They're going to move before the ball is snapped. And movement, write this down. Movement means something. If they're moving before the snap, that usually means it's going to be a 1 high safety after the snap. So we're doing cover 3 right now. Cover 3 strong. The strong safety is moving from 12 yards and cheating down. He's just moving slowly. Slowly, slowly. Boom, you snap the ball. Now the free safety is covering the third of the field. The corner on both sides. He's covering the third. He's covering the third. The strong safety now is covering the flat area of the defense, just like the nickel will is on the weak side. So this is called cover 3 strong. He's rolling down to the strong side. You need to know what your strong side on your offense is. It's normally where the back and the tight end are. All right, this is the strong side of the offense, so he's rolling strong. So it's cover 3 now. It started out 2 high safeties. He rolled to 1 high. Everybody got it so far. So now let's talk about 3 weak. 3 weak. All right, somebody's going to cover a third of this field. Now, they're moving before the snap of the ball. So let's pretend this. Right now, we have the nickel will. The nickel will now is going to cheat himself. Looks like he's going to blitz. This guy's going to start to move. All right? And then this guy's going to move to the middle of the field. Okay? So now, the sandbacker is going to cover the flats. The nickel will is going to blitz. The free safety now is going to play the flats to this side. And then the strong safety is going to cover the middle of the field. This is 3 weak. The defense is rotating to the weak side. All right, the weak side is only 2 receivers over here. Guys, this is 3 strong, 3 weak. It's a cover 3 defense. All right, guys, anybody have any questions about cover 3 strong weak?
Coach, what are the weaknesses of cover 3 strong and weak?
Perfect question. The weaknesses in cover 3 strong and cover 3 weak are the same as just cover 3. All right, here's the key. Here's your biggest tell. You want to throw away from the rotation. So if the defense is rolling to 3 weak, we want to attack this flat area over here, or this weak seam, all right, or this area behind the linebackers and in front of the safeties. That's the key. Let's just say they rolled in opposite direction. Okay? Safety rolls down. I want to throw and attack this side, the flat area here or the seam here, because this safety is rotating away. So I want to throw away from the rotation. So if they're rotating strong, I want to attack this seam, these flats, or this hook area. It's the same thing. Or this area behind the linebackers. Here are the weaknesses. These are the areas to attack cover 3 strong and 3 weak. They're the same as cover 3. Flats, hooks, weak seam. Weak seam away from the rotation. Let's go get them, guys. Gentlemen, welcome to cover 3 cloud. So this is a cover 3 zone coverage. All right. If we look to this side of the field, you see the corner at 7 yards. Usually they're 6 to 10 yards. So that's a tell for you. That should help you with the depth. He's playing a third of the field. Now, on pre-snap, you'll see both safeties deep. So you'll see 2 high safeties. But be careful. Here's one of your tells. It's their width. The safeties are a little tighter, and this one is moving on pre-snap. So before the ball is snapped, you'll see him move. And I've said this, movement means something, quarterbacks. So he'll move and cover the deep third of the field. The safety to your strong side, in this 3 cloud example, he's going to cover this third of the field. So at the snap of the ball, he's going to work to cover this area voided out by this corner. So here's this important. The cloud corner will play less than 5 yards, and that lets you know something's not right. So because he's the cloud corner, that just means he's playing low. He's either going to play the flats, or as you can see in his dotted line, he's going to blitz. If he plays the flats, the sandbacker will blitz. So you have him now playing the flat area while one blitzes. That's cloud coverage. So it's a third of the field by the corner. The free safety covers the middle third. The strong safety covers this third over here where the cloud corner exists. Where are the attack points in cover 3 cloud? It's the same as cover 3. The flat area the seam possibly in this area between the linebackers and the safeties. It's very difficult to throw something into the cloud because of this guy playing this flat area right here already. He's already low. So the key is to work away from the cloud rotation. Work away, just like you would in 3 strong or 3 weak. Very similar. The only difference is the cloud tells you that this corner's playing down while the safety takes his responsibility. Let's go get him, guys. Gentlemen, welcome to Cover 3 Sky. Very, very similar to all of our other Cover 3 family coverages. Here's the difference. Sky tells you that the safety is coming down. The corner is going to play his third responsibility like in any other Cover 3 look. But let's talk about some of our tells from our weld rules. The width of the safeties. They're close to the tackle box because they're going to be moving right before the snap of the ball. So in this example, the sky portion of the coverage is over here. The safety's coming down. Sky stands for safety. The free safety is moving to the middle third of the field. This corner's playing his third, and you can already see based on his depth, he's 7 yards off the ball, typically 6 to 10. This corner over here now, unlike a different coverage we talked about in our family of cover 3s, he's now 7 yards, inside leverage on the receiver. He's going to play his third. But this safety, he's about 2 yards lower than this free safety, and he's moving on pre-snap. He's going to cover the flat area. Now, sometimes teams will take this strong safety, and he will blitz while the Sam backer plays the flat area, as you can see in these dotted movements. All right? So they'll do one or two things. When you break down film weekly and you look at what your opponent does, you'll get an idea. But when you see the safety moving down, you know it's a sky coverage. When it's 3 people covering deep and everyone else is playing their typical coverage. Will has the middle of the hook area, the hook to curl. Will has the hook to curl the flats. Mike has the hook area. Where are the weaknesses in this coverage? The flat area. It's always cover 3 rules. Nothing changes. Those weaknesses are still the same. This area in front of the safeties and behind the Mike backer, there's a void there. And then this weak side seam. It's very difficult to throw that ball into these flats to the sky rotation. So the key is to work away from it, work away from the sky part of this coverage. All right, guys, let's go get them. This is Cover 3 Sky. Gentlemen, welcome to Cover 4. So let's talk about Cover 4 real quick, some of the weaknesses and strengths. Let's also talk about our weld. All right, guys, let's look at the corners here on this one. Inside leverage, soft and off because they're 6 or more yards off the ball. All right, so they're depth, they're deep. All right, let's look at our safeties. We got 2 high safeties, and let's look at their leverage. They're inside of the number 2 receivers. All right, so we know they're not going to cover a half of the field because they're closer together and they're near the tackle box. All right, so they're going to play cover 4. 4 high coverage guys, both corners and safeties. So now let's look at the safeties. 12 yards or more off the ball. So their depth, they're pretty deep. Okay? In the all-pro level, when you play this game, they'll be 10 yards. They'll be down. So it's going to look a little different for you. But they're more athletic at the all-pro level. That's the best guys there are. All right? So they can get deep fast. All right? In the rookie mode and in the collegiate level, they need a little bit more time to get to their landmarks. All right, so now let's look. The corner is off, soft. His eyes are on the quarterback, and he's backpedaling. He's covering a fourth of the field. His eyes, same thing. They're not on a man. They're on you, and they're dropping. All right, he's dropping. He's covering a fourth of the field. He's covering a fourth. He's covering a fourth. That's why we call it cover 4. Any questions so far, guys?
Coach, what are the weaknesses of cover 4?
Great question. Great question. So, very similar to other zone coverages. All right, the flat area is a weak area on both sides. The hook area, okay? The hook area. And then this area behind the linebackers and in front of the safety. All right? Intermediate routes, 12 to 15 yard digs, okay? Curls, and then the flats. These are the weaknesses of cover 4. These are the places that you want to attack them. All right, behind the linebackers, in the flats, curls, reading off of the linebackers. All right, guys, let's go get them. Gentlemen, welcome to 4-kick coverage. This is a specific coverage. Typically, when teams are playing against your trips formations. So quarterbacks, let's focus on our weld rules here. If we're lined up in trips, it could be a tight end there, or it could be just like you see right here, a zebra receiver, a Z and a Y to one side. No matter what your 3 receivers are, you'll typically see the free safety almost in the middle of the field. So let's talk about this. Our width, the width of our free safety, he'll be almost over that center. He's going to be in his tackle box. He might be over the tackle. And at the snap of the ball, he's going to work to the trip side. As you can see the way I have this dotted line right here, he's looking at that number 3 receiver, reading what his route is going to be. If he works towards him, if he runs a middle seam, the free safety has him. Now, just like in our cover 2 rules or in our 3 cloud, the corner is going to play down. He's going to play this flat area. So anything in the flats is voided because of the way he plays it. Here's a tell for you. The depth of the corner. He'll be at about 5 yards. All right. This width of this safety, he'll be almost over number 2, in between 2 and 3, right here on this side. He's going to play over top to help his corner out. So he has everything deep. Free safety has the middle of the field, but he's reading number 3's route first. Anything deep coming towards him, he'll pick up. Now, the tail on the backside of this trips, what is the corner doing? The corner's 5 yards or less. He's playing man coverage. So it looks like it's cover 4, but it's really a man coverage on the backside and a zone to the trip side. All right? Now, what and how can we attack this kind of coverage? All right? Any combination routes with the back and the X receiver. All right? So post, a comeback route. Anything deep here to the sideline. All right? Towards the middle of or the seam on the weak side, and anything to the back, singling him up with the wheel linebacker. That's the way to attack this defense. All right, this hole right here is tight. It's tight, but you have that hole over there to the 4-kick side. But you got to be careful of that safety. That's it, gentlemen. Let's go get him. Gentlemen, welcome to All Pro Coverage, Cover 3 Trick. So let's talk about this for a second. It's Cover 3, gentlemen. But to one side of it, the coverage can be a little tricky to a quarterback. Let's go right to that side right now. So we have a free safety covering a third of the field. We have the corner. He's covering his third of the field, 7 yards. If we follow our weld rules, we'll understand this. The eyes of the defenders are on you, quarterback, letting you know it's a zone. All right, the leverage of the corners, they're inside leverage, 7 yards off, and the depth, they're fairly deep, like zone, they're off and soft. But the outside linebackers, this is where it's different. This doesn't change. The wheel linebacker has the flats, like he normally does in cover 3. Mike and Sam have the hook to curl. But the nickel Sam, or the strong safety, because he's the safety that's already come down from a 2-high look to a single 1-high look, he has outside leverage on the slot receiver. Whatever this receiver does, if he runs flat, he takes the out away. If he runs deep, if he runs across the middle, he's outside leverage. He's outside leverage. So how do we attack this type of defense? We work away from the tricky defender, the nickel Sam or the strong safety. So that's why we call it trick. It's no different than any other cover 3 look. We just work away from him unless the route is working inside and is short. So where are some of our weak spots and how can we attack this? Well, it's no different than any other cover 3. We have the flat area. We have the weak seam working off the safety. All right, we still have the seam here or the sit down area pretty much right here, right in front of this guy, but inside of him. Since he's outside leverage, we work inside of him. All right, and then we have a nice void behind the linebackers and in front of the safety. This is cover 3 trick. It's an all-pro coverage that you don't see on the lower levels. Let's go get them, gentlemen. Gentlemen, welcome to cover 3, Buzz Strong. So gentlemen, we know based on looking at other coverages in the quarterback equalizer, this is the strong side. The H is to this side and there's 2 receivers. So this is the strength right now. Okay? It's cover 3, but on pre-snap it's too high. So how do we know how this coverage is going to change? Gentlemen, you're not going to see a whole lot of movement. This is an all-pro coverage. 3 Buzz Strong is an all-pro coverage. But what you might see is this safety starting to cheat just a little bit before the snap of the ball. If he doesn't, he'll move once the ball is snapped. He'll come down and the free safety will get to the middle of the field. So now he has the middle third. If we focus on our weld rules, all right, we look at the width of these safeties, they're tight. That lets you know they're either going to move or there's something that's going to change about this coverage. All right, so their width gives this away. This is a tell for you immediately. The other tell might be the depth of this safety right here. This safety could be at 12 or more. This safety could be at 10 or less, so he can get down into the box. The reason people run 3 Buzz Strong, this safety is going to come and help with the run. He's going to pick up this back. This is the Buzz part of this coverage. This corner has a deep third. He's 6 to 10 yards off the ball, and the Sam will play the flats, and he will get out of there fast. Some coaches call it he'll buzz to the flats, but he will insert inside. So that's the difference. That's how you know it's a Buzz coverage. He's inside of the Sam, working this hook to curl area, while the Sam plays the flats. What are the weaknesses of this coverage? It's just like cover 3. We work the flat area away from the Buzz. We work this middle area behind the Mike backer and the free safety. All right, or we work this seam away from the Buzz. This Buzz area is hard to throw anything in it. It's hard to throw anything in it because he's coming from depth, covering this hook. He's playing the flats right now. So work away from it, and you'll seem like you'll have a much better chance at completion because you don't know how this is going to play out. It's just a lot of traffic in here. Work away from it. Gentlemen, this is cover 3 Buzz Strong. Let's go get him. Gentlemen, welcome to cover 3 Buzz week. Now, what makes this weak? It's a cover 3 coverage. The only thing is when you see this strong safety working to the middle of the field, the free safety's working down, he's working down to the weak side of the formation. All right, let's talk about our weld rules. So let's look at the width of these safeties. You know something's not right when the safeties are over the tackle box, inside the number 2 receivers. Be careful, something's getting ready to happen. So right before the snap of the ball in this all-pro cover 3 Buzz week coverage, you'll see the free safety start to move a little bit. If he doesn't cheat, let's focus on his depth. So if he doesn't move at all, he'll be the low safety of these 2 guys. So at the snap of the ball, the strong safety doesn't have far to go. He'll get to the middle of the field. The free safety will move down inside of the will linebacker. He's going to cover this hook area. And the will is going to work to the flats. He's going to work to the flats. Sam is going to work to the flats on the strong side of the formation. The corner's inside leverage, 6 to 10 yards off the ball. He's going to work his deep third. And this corner over here is going to work his deep third. So now, how do we attack? What are the weaknesses to cover 3 Buzz week? All right, the flat area, away from the weak side. All right, this hole right here behind the mic and in front of the safety. And then since this safety is rotating to the middle of the field, this seam right here, this area, there's your weak places to attack. We want to attack away from the Buzz side of the coverage. They're buzzing weak, so now we're going to focus going to the strong side. Gentlemen, let's go get them. Gentlemen, welcome to cover 1 loiter. So this is a cover 1 man concept, man principle. All right, let's focus on our weld rules here. Let's look at the width of the safeties. This tells us something's not right. So they're both in the middle of the field, unlike traditional cover 1 that we've seen on this game and what you've seen at your school or at the university that you play at. They're almost together. These guys are almost stacked on each other. So what makes this loiter? This is what makes it loiter. The free safety is going to cheat down. He is going to rob any intermediate routes. So if Z is running a 12 to 10 yard dig or zebra, he's going to jump that route. he's going to combo with that Will or that Sam carrying that guy across the field. These guys might fall off that route, but he's going to continue to run with that crossing route. So his job is to rob the route. We call it loiter because it's the free safety. It's cover one, loiter because it's the free safety rolling down, robbing that intermediate route. All right, let's focus on our weld rules. Let's look at the eyes. We'll look at the eyes of the corner guys. How about the slots, the Will and the Sam, how they're covering these guys? Their eyes are on the receiver, not on the quarterback. That lets you know it's man. All right, let's look at the leverage, their head up or their inside leverage. They're using the sideline, especially the corners, as the other defender. Okay, and then their depth, they're all inside of 5 yards. That is a huge tell, and you got to be aware of it. And at the snap of the ball, right before the snap, you should see some movement. As I've said before, movement means something. This safety's going to start to work to the middle of the field. One's going to cheat down. That lets you know something's going on. This press coverage lets you know it's probably going to be cover one. Then he'll roll down. That lets you know it's cover one loiter. So, gentlemen, where are the weak points of this coverage? It's no different than cover one when you see just one safety standing in the middle of the field. Work away from the deep safety. So in this example, if the strong safety is the deep safety, now we need to be aware of where this robber safety is, the loiter safety. Where is he at? We want to work away from both of them. So if we're running a deep 15, 16-yard comeback or 12-yard comeback, let's work that because it's away from the deep safety. If we're running 4 go routes, we already know anything inside to this free safety side is probably not going to work. So let's work to this backside. And then quarterback, the key is your eyes. Put your eyes where you want this deep safety to move to, and then throw the ball away. Hopefully, you're throwing it to your best matchup, because that's what makes sense here. So this is cover one, loiter. It's a man coverage principle. Let's go get him. Gentlemen, welcome to cover one robber. This is an all-pro coverage, but you also see this at the collegiate level. You also see this in the rookie mode. All right, what makes this robber? Just like in the cover one examples that we've done in the past, everyone is low, inside of 5 yards, playing man coverage, typically inside leverage or head up on the receiver. So as we work out width, eyes, leverage, and depth, we'll also understand where's the corner's eyes? It's on the receiver, letting you know it's a man coverage. Letting you know it's a man coverage. Well, what gives this coverage away? What are the tells to this? Well, let's look at the width of these safeties. One safety's at about 16. Both of them are pretty deep. But at the snap of the ball, the strong safety, the robber safety, he works down. And he's looking to rob one of these crossing routes. So if Z or Zebra run a dig or some intermediate route, he's either going to double with the Sam or the Will, or he's going to pick the route up and cover that thing across the field. So it's a man coverage concept. Cover one robber tells you that the safety, the strong safety is rolling down. The safety to the strong side of formation. All right, gentlemen. Here's the attack points to this coverage. No different than anything else that you see in cover one. We want to work the sidelines. We want to work the one-on-one matchups away from the free safety, the deep safety. We don't want this guy to help jump on a route. So if we're running 4 vertical routes, we want to keep our eyes on him to see where he works to, and we want to work away from him. So work away from the deep safety, and then be careful about middle of the field routes. Work away from this robber safety. So if he's robbing a middle route here, and the free safety's working this side, work over here. If the free safety's working to this side, and the robber safety picks up this route right here, work away. Work to this corner on this backside. All right, so gentlemen, the key, work away from the deep safety and be aware of where the robber safety is. Let's go get him.